Here we go again with another video that I am recording so that I can talk about what absolute dog shit this year was. And maybe one day I can look back on it and smile. It has been I told someone the other day that this year has felt like 10 years. He's buzzing me to annoy me. Because that's his favorite thing right now. Yeah, actually, fuck it. Nope, I'm gonna answer him. Well, good job there, dingus. I told someone that, this year has felt like 10 years. Like, everybody at this point is like, this year has dragged so much ass. Has been so much time passed, and just I mean, at the start it was rampant bullshit. Just everything was changing rapidly and everyone was so scared, and now I think we've all, at least on my level, we've all adjusted to it, but we're still pissed. Royally. I lost a card. So. Well, I hope that's all of them, because if it's not, this is going to be a reading I have to terminate. Spend most of my time dissociating, by the way. Just lovely. So if I start, just not really paying attention, there's your explanation why. But anyway, someone told me, you gotta cut that shit out when they said that this year has felt like 10 years, especially at the start, and he told me to stop and cut that shit out, and you're gonna miss when it's like that, because this year flew by for me. And I'm like, I think at this point it's just the pacing. God, this year was like forever. 2025. Just to already tell you guys, I have no intention of putting my diary entries, or whatever the fuck you want to call them, the little parts where I read out loud my writing, the things that I've written about how I feel about stuff, because being as this whole year has just been me playing Pokemon pretty much, because Dad and I couldn't do the show for a long time, and we still don't have the ability to. I'm just gonna say that's what you get. Like, that's all you're getting, because Currently, I am in mental shutdown mode because I'm so tired of reaching out and hearing nobody listen, nobody call back. And this year has been one of the worst, mental health-wise. So, it's fun. But I'm still going to read off my notes because I don't remember half of what this year was. Yep, I just dissociate at this point. But, what I do know is I'm going to not put the diary entries, but I'm going to leave it to the Pokemon series to carry that one. Because Jesus Christ. Like, I've already talked those issues enough to death. It's back in January, I was just very angry. A lot of drama between people that was causing me stress. I don't even remember what drama there was. Oh, most likely B13 versus Freak of Nature. Most likely. That's what I'm going to call it. Just so much drama. I debated breaking up with Angel for real. Like, just being done with him. Then decided I wasn't going to do that. Still got him. More rage. Feeling silenced. A lot of anger. I think I mildly traumatized Angel in there somewhere. Because he... some bodily functions. It was a horrible time for him. After being so angry, I'm finally getting back into the business and everything. And then severe depression. And then all the panic around Trump's inauguration. Oh, and then one of my customers at work decided to yell at me for 2 hours about Trump. Screaming about everything that she expected, basically, and why she's so appalled that her family cut her off. And, kind of decided to dissociate from her. Being as she is an immigrant herself, I can understand a little bit of where they're coming from, but as a worker, I'm paid to stand there and smile and grit my teeth and wave and pretend that, yeah, I totally agree with every word you're saying, ma'am. Even though I literally do not care. Not in this moment. Oh, and then, being mom's cash cow. I imagine that has more to do with her just, like, taking my money. Expecting me to keep giving her money. Over and over and over again. And then... oh yeah. So, back in January, everybody got sick. Started with Dad. And then Mary came home sick. And then I got sick. And then Mom got sick. And nobody knew what it was. Not a single person. But we didn't find out till much later what it actually was. Because that's when Mom decided to go to urgent care. And get tested for what it was, because it was so bad on day 3 or 4 for her. While the rest of us just, suffered along. Can't talk to Angel because phone went missing. What do you mean your phone went missing? This is what I mean. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't remember that happening. Mind you, we're still in January, by the way. And then at the end of the month, oh yeah, we found out we all had flu-vid. So the roommate came home from her partner at the time's place, and his kid had contracted the flu from school and passed it to everybody in the house, including our roommate, who came home knowing she had the flu. She's like, oh yeah, the person I got it from, they tested positive for the flu, but they tested negative for COVID, so I didn't give you all flu-vid. I had the flu. But I stayed in my room, even though she has to come out to eat. So, and mind you, none of us wanted the flu. She just walked around without a mask on in the house, nothing at all, just like getting her germs and shit everywhere. We would have preferred if she just stayed in the house that was full of sick people instead of bringing it back here. Because I know it sounds unreasonable to be like, sequester yourself in your room and never leave until you are better. That is completely unreasonable. We just wish she had stayed there until the sickness passed. And then Dad came back from work one day and he just sounded real nasty. Like, he sounded perfectly fine at first, and then his voice went. Like, garbage disposal, as I described it, tuberculosis, COPD voice was another one. Like the throat kazoo kind of situation. He just sounded nasty. Like, he could barely eke out a word, much less, speak in sentences, because is not something that anybody is, capable of communicating through. So what we suspect happened is, because the roommate swears up and down, I never brought you guys COVID. I never brought you guys COVID. That somehow Dad contracted COVID from work, and then she contracted the flu. Both of them brought it to me and Mom, and we got the double whammy. Because fun fact, guys, you can get flu, COVID, and strep all at once. That's lovely, right? So we got a 2 out of 3. Still failing grade, but great. So anyway, there was flu-vid. And then in February, my blood sugar was very high, like, often. And considering all of the progress that I've made in life trying to eat better, which I say ironically after acknowledging that I just ate a bunch of pizza. Not a smart decision. I've also been eating a lot of junk. But after seeing everything that I'm doing right, and seeing that it's doing something positive for me, I just panicked, because I'm like, my blood sugar's high every single day, and it's awful, especially while we were sick. And then, because we were sick, I was stuck being alone a lot. Not just from, like, the other household members, because once we all got it, we were all fucked. But mostly from people outside. Because I was like, I'm dying. Being given bad advice. I imagine that has more to do with my relationship, but I do not remember as to what it pertains to. Oh, Mom's hospitalization. So on her, like, day 11 of flu-vid, she, the whole time she was having some medical problem where, like, she just felt like she couldn't eat because everything was, like, plugged up pretty much, and she was in immense pain. And then it just kept getting progressively worse. She described to me she threw up once because she ate something, and then it caused her some chest pain, and then she threw up. Well, then fast forward that, like, 3 weeks later to, I'm not able to eat pretty much anything without barfing, and anytime that I eat, literally anything, it just feels like it's stuck, and I feel plugged up, like I can't use the bathroom at all to get it out of me. It doesn't matter what I do. and I'm not eating anything, so there's nothing to go through me anyway to push any of it out. So, day whatever of it hits, she's day 11, she goes to work and calls an ambulance. And they take her over to an infamous hospital in the area because apparently all the Frederick hospitals were down. Their system had been breached or something. And she went to what is known as Shady Grave. Because they don't diagnose you with anything, they just kind of let you suffer. So, she ends up at Shady Grave, and they tell her, well, you didn't have a heart attack, so you're fine, go home. They gave her no painkillers to go home with. Even though she asked for them. And around 11 o'clock at night, her painkillers started wearing off. And she starts screaming in pain. Moaning and screaming. She's finally home, but she's screaming. Just as we're all about to go to bed, I drive her in the dead of night as fast as I can down to Carroll Hospital because we don't know what's wrong. And she doesn't know what's wrong, just that she is in so much pain that she is screaming bloody murder next to me in the car seat. Just screaming her head off. And, it just keeps getting progressively worse and everything. They did some scans and tests. They found out it was a whole slew of things such as gastritis, esophagitis, and a remnant gallstone. Shortly after I was spawned, my mother had her gallbladder removed. But they suspected that what the immense amount of pain was that was really hurting her, among all of the damage to her throat and everything, from a lot of painkillers, by the way. Fun fact, painkillers are a no-no now because all of them do some kind of tissue damage to all of the areas affected through this whole thing. So she's been told, no more painkillers, by the way. Like, ever again. For any reason. At all. She doesn't listen. But, the whole thing was mostly just caused by a gallstone. A gallstone. Just a little one just floating somewhere up in there that never moved for like 20-something years. Suddenly causing her immense amounts of pain. They held her in the hospital for observation, and trust me, when we left, it was a massive bill because the insurance didn't want to cover any of it, despite the fact that it was deemed medically necessary because she was screaming all the time. There was barely any sleep. They were giving her so many painkillers because she couldn't take any painkillers. They didn't deem her at that point like no painkillers ever. They just said, we're giving you lots and lots of painkillers and having to control this because you're in pain. We don't know why, but if that gets you to sleep at night, like, here you go, get some painkillers. So, they give her all this stuff, and she has me stay there with her pretty much the entire time. I missed almost a week's worth of work in a hospital, paying for food and barely sleeping because, you know. Also, the room was not designed to have more than just one patient in it, so it was very small, and there was not really anywhere for me to go. Remember at one point, because it snowed, Dad almost died in a car accident because he crashed. Luckily, he didn't damage his car or anything. He just kind of, like, drifted into a snowdrift and almost crashed. But he's fine. Just scared the shit out of him, so he was like, I'm going home, and I'm not going to make it all the way out to the hospital. Because I don't want to die. I'm like, that's fair. So I burned through all my sick pay, taking that little vacation at the hospital. Say that knowing that people in my workplace take vacations using their sick pay. Which is fine as long as your manager allows it. So, that was a whole week up until and through Valentine's Day. Of just being in the hospital with her screaming in pain. And even better, at one point she ended up bloated. Fun fact, you can overdose on fluids. They can pump you full of too many banana bags and bloat you to hell. To the point where, like, you feel like your sausage fingers and arms and legs can't move and you feel really heavy because you got so much water weight. They were so scared about all of her macros dropping. So once they discovered that she had all these problems with her intestinal tract, they're like, you should be able to eat now. Turns out she still couldn't eat anything because she was still screaming in pain and it hurt to eat anything at all. So she's not eating. So they give her fluid bags and they pump her full of fluids and macronutrients and everything that she needs to live. And they keep closely monitoring this. So closely that they're all terrified that her potassium is going to drop too low. So they keep pumping her full of it to the point that it swells her up like a balloon. And her stuff still isn't really going anywhere. Like, kind of, they're pushing it into you. It's there. We're just scared you're going to drop it as soon as, like, we give up. So we're just going to keep doing it. And then, just like that evil auntie in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. I had to feed her. She could barely get up to even get to the bathroom. Until they decided, well, we don't want to put you on a diuretic, but we're gonna do it so that you pee all the fluids out. Problem is, we're scared that your magnesium and your potassium and all of your EMs are going to drop through the floor. So we don't want to do this, but we're going to because clearly it's causing you more pain and prolonging your stay. So, they give her a diuretic, she's fine. They're not concerned, really. Nothing else, just, you're fine now. You can eat, you can function, you can go home. They were mentioning they wanted to schedule her for therapy, and then it was like, well, all our PTs are full, so whatever. We can't do that, but, we would if we could. I just remember living it constantly and just being there to wait on her and feeling guilty anytime I left because she needed me. She needed me to adjust her pillow specifically 2 centimeters to the left or else she was in pain. And then I'd adjust it and she was still in pain. I would move her arm so that I could adjust her arm pillow because she had like 12 pillows. And I didn't even get one. Trying to support her ass on the uncomfortable hospital bed because she couldn't get comfortable no matter how hard she tried. And I think I got into a fight with Angel again. Something about he wasn't doing the best. I don't remember what caused it. Other than him just not being very, supportive or present. And then not really wanting to spend a lot of time with me. And then we managed to make up. Things start to feel right again, and then right back to the hospital, and then back out. So after all of the water weight and everything, she had a little dumpling foot. That's what I called it. Because one of her legs was still kind of swollen, and then it shrank down into like a nubbin at the ankle. She's like, oh, that's kind of weird. And they're like, yeah, that's kind of weird. You should come in. You might have a blood clot, and you might be in danger of dying like any second now. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? I rushed out of the house. I rushed out of work after a half hour before I was supposed to leave because it was an emergency. Drove her back up to the hospital, and the doctor's just like, you're fine. It's good to get checked, but you're fine. Like, he just poked her in the weight room. Not even, like, no room, no nothing. Just, like, he poked her right out there and went, yeah, you're fine. He's like, have you had any of these? And she's just like, no. And he's like, how was your kid born? Because he was like, how many abdominal surgeries have you had? And she's just like, I've never had any. He's just like, looks at me. He's like, is that your kid? And it's like, yeah. How was your kid born? C-section? That's an abdominal surgery. You wanted to know for anyone who's ever curious, if someone asks you that, anything from here down to your pelvis counts as an abdominal surgery. Anything in there. Apparently that makes you more prone to a whole bunch of other stuff. I don't remember exactly what he asked her after that. Just like, basically it made everything worse in terms of her hospital stay and everything. So when they did all the other stuff to her, it just made whatever issue that was worse. But she's fine. He's like, you don't have a blood clot, you just have a little dumpling foot. It's just too much water. It'll pass eventually. You just need to get up and move it around to circulate it. She's like, oh, okay, I'm fine then. That's fine. It just hurts a lot to walk, that's all. It's like, well, you gotta get up and move it. So I basically ended up leaving work for a tiny little thing that I know it was concerning, but after all that time we spent in the hospital, I'm still so over it. And then just angry because we had to go back to the hospital, and exhausted and bitter over that bullshit. Then I wasn't feeling right in my own body, apparently, which I mean, I never am. I'm gender fluid. I am trans. Sometimes this matches this, and other times this doesn't match the rest of this. So I'm just really lost, uncomfortable, and confused more often than you think. Never sure exactly what to do about that. Just this I'm already uncomfortable enough with. I can't envision myself any other way, but also I literally do not like anything about this thing. My meat sack is not happy, and that's just how it is. More fights with Angel, almost dumping him, and then making things right. And then, stupid people. The note here actually says emotional shutdown because bullshit and people. And that is still accurate. People cause a lot of bullshit. Almost breakup caused by nosy coworkers, which continues to mess with me for days. We have a lot of almost overs. No actual overs, which is, hilarious. Just because I'm so done with his shit sometimes. People just tell me stuff and gets inside my head. And then I'm like 400% over everything at that point. Oh, and then there was a whole day where Littlest Bit, the little black kitty that we got, she disappeared from sight. And we couldn't find her anywhere at all. Like, we called her and screamed for her, and she just didn't exist. She would not manifest. Wherever she was hiding, she was really, really hidden. she would not show herself to anybody. So we all panicked, thinking that she just got out or ran away. And I made up with him, and then crash day. I don't remember what crash day was. Was that his vacation? Because I remember my week with Angel. So, he went on a vacation in like March, I guess. And then shortly into it, like we hung out on a Monday night, and I was off the next day, so I'm like, fuck it, I can stay up as late as I want. There's no rules. Nobody cares. I hadn't really eaten much all day, and I just, like, as soon as I got home, I turned around and got him, instead of, like, getting anything to eat or dealing with my blood sugar. So, at some point, like, I stopped what I was doing in the middle of hanging out with him. It's been, like, 12 hours since I've last eaten something. I go to the stove, I start making food. And I'm not feeling great. I've got a migraine, and everything feels awful in my body. So I'm standing in front of the stove, and I'm making food. And I'm making food, and I'm making food. And then my partner comes around the corner, and he's just there. And I'm like, I'm gonna pick up my cat who's here as well, and I'm gonna hold him, and I'm gonna let you pet him. And as soon as I did that, the cat whipped around and slashed me in the eye. Obviously, no damage. Eye is not damaged. Nobody is hurt still. But I thought he ripped out my eye and panicked and was, like, freaking the fuck out. And I was, like, seeing blood in my eye, and it was not fun. So I asked the roommate to check me because my partner has no medical expertise, no nothing at all. Doesn't even know first aid. So, of course, he doesn't know what he's looking at. He's also freaked out. So I asked the roommate who's home at the time to, like, check me out. She's like, no, I think he might have just, like, scratched your eyelid, but he didn't actually get your eye. You're not blind. You're fine. And I'm like, okay, thanks. I'm not going to die, right? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. That's good. That's a good thing. Okay. So I'm looking at myself in the mirror, and I see all the blood. And I'm just, like, holding my eye with a towel because, you know, put pressure on wounds to get them to stop doing what they're doing. And unfortunately, fun fact, head is a big bleeder. That's why when people get head injuries, there's a lot of blood, because, fun fact, you have a lot of tiny blood vessels in your face. A lot of them. So if you get a cut, a scratch, you break something, a lot of blood. More than you would think. And that's giving me heart palpitations thinking about it. So, I'm in the bathroom. And I'm like, I'm going to faint. Like, I don't feel very good suddenly. My heart went from fast to slow. Pumping. So I'm like, I'm gonna sit down and take a deep breath. It's gonna be okay. And the next thing I know, because I was leaned over, pressing the towel in my eye, trying to get everything to stop. Next thing I know, I'm in Mary's bosom. I am face first in a fuzzy sweater, and she's holding me up. Because apparently, while I was unconscious, I guess I fainted, I passed out, something bad happened, essentially, between being here and being here. She said apparently, she rounded the corner after she asked Angel to get some water, and then she left me because she's like, he doesn't know where the cups are, he's confused, he's lost, and that's fair, it's not his house. So he rounds the corner to get some water, and she's like, the cups are over here. As soon as she comes back over the bathroom, she sees me just throw my arms up and make a funny face. Apparently, I fainted. And so she's supporting me, like, don't do this to me, kid! Don't do this to me! And I'm just like, where am I? Why is it fuzzy? What the fuck is this? My mom gets home at about the same time, and she's checking my blood pressure, she's checking my pulse, everything. And she's like, that's weird. Your blood pressure is hypotensive to the max, and then now it's fine, and then it's hypotensive again. And your pulse is down in, like, the 50s, And it's going up a little, and it's back down, and it's up, and it's down, it's up, it's down. And I'm like, what? I don't know what happened. I'm still working on catching up. Everything's moving really fast. Or I'm just really slow. I remember I was still in the process of making dinner, by the way, so I'm like, I need to finish making dinner. And then, so I made it back to the kitchen, and I'm sitting in a chair, and I finished cooking dinner, and he stayed with me the whole time. Like, he's trying to make sure I don't die again, so he's keeping an eye on me, and while the other two are just, like, doing whatever, like, going about their day, pretty much, like, the roommate's concerned, but she's now gone back to her room, like, it's fine, and mom's just like, well, you're not dying, so I don't think we need to go to the hospital, but we need to figure out how to get your boyfriend home, because he shouldn't spend the night, because she doesn't want him to spend the night. And I'm like, that's okay, yeah. So I just gotta finish cooking dinner, so I managed to hobble my unhappy ass leaning against walls over to the kitchen, and I sit in the chair in the kitchen, and I'm making dinner. He's staying with me most of the time, and then it's like, all the Ubers, I don't really have money for an Uber, and my mom won't come get me because it's too late, and even if I Ubered home, I wouldn't be able to open the door, like, it would be locked up tight, I can't get in, and I'm like, oh boy. Well, he's left me for this moment, and he's gone back to the room, like, trying to figure some shit out, calling people, trying to get someone to come get him and deal with the situation. Eventually, Mom did let him stay, but that was after, I didn't feel like I could stand after sitting there. I just didn't feel like I could stand, and I just didn't feel good getting up. So I got to the floor and just crawled to my room across the house. And everyone's like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, I don't feel good getting up. I'm gonna stay down here on the floor. He stops me in my room and he's like, do you need help? And I'm like, I don't feel right getting up. Something is wrong and I cannot get up. And he's just like, let me help you here. And I'm like, I get to my feet and like stumble over to my bed. What Mom thinks happened, fun fact, was that my sugar dropped due to my panic attack. Trying to, like, sort out what happened with my eye caused my panic to cause my sugar to go through the floor. And I died. So she gave me some applesauce, and that seemed to fix me for the moment, but I was still like, But I had energy again, so it was fine. And then... yeah, then I think I spent the rest of the week with him. Not, like, in the house, but, like, I made breakfast the next day, and then I took him home, and then we got together again, and then I took him home, and then I got together again, and it was great. It was the most time I spent with him. In a minute now. And then... so everything goes back to normal for a little while, and then Angel got sick. And then at some point, my car's having some issues. Oh, right. So, shortly before he really got sick, my car had been having issues for a minute now, but I didn't notice anything until the point where I'm like, why do I smell fire? Like, my car smells like fire. Like, I've stopped, and now I can smell burning of some kind. That's not normal. And everyone's like, it could just be a cabin filter. It could be this. It could be that. And I'm like, I'm scared. So with my bloodhound nose, I've parked my car in the driveway, and I just sniff it for a while. I'm just smelling it to try to figure out where the fuck the smoke is coming from. Is it in the cabin? It's not in the cabin. It doesn't start immediately, so maybe it's not a cabin filter. Turns out, it was my brakes. I took it into the shop. They said, yeah, the burning smell, that is because your calipers have seized. Something like that. The clamp that breaks has frozen into place, and it will not let go Unlike when, your brakes seize up and they're stuck in the off position, so now they just don't clamp onto the thing, thusly not allowing you to stop. Mine was doing the opposite, which caused my car to slow. It wouldn't accelerate very fast, and every time that this kept happening, it just wore through the pad that's on the brake until it got to metal on metal situation, making the problem worse. Which is what the burning smell was. And I'm like, oh, that's great. Then they're like, oh yeah, also we think you have an oil leak, but we're not sure, so, yeah, I threw synthetic oil in your car and we're gonna see what happens. It was a whole thing. It was stupid expensive. It was like $2,000 that they tried to ask me to cough up until my dad went down there and went, can we discuss these charges with a manager? And the manager comes over and he's like, okay, my technician's an idiot because, he can see from your history you guys never throw synthetic in your cars because it's too expensive. So why he would do that without telling you he was doing that is beyond me. So we're taking that off. And then the oil leak could be something as simple as a loose cable. So we're going to tighten it up and just ignore the problem. Okay, cool. It's a loose thing. That's what it is. Also, synthetic is thin, so that's going to cause it to come out of your car faster. Thanks, dumbass. And he's like, yeah, so I'm just going to negate all these charges, and now you've gone from $2,000 to $700 just because we went and talked to someone who actually knows what the fuck they're doing. Also, again, mechanics in America, I will say at least mechanics in my area, are mildly misogynist. So any person with a penis who comes over and talks to one of those fuckers, suddenly the tool with the tool suddenly knows what they're doing. So clearly we shouldn't be stupid with them. This is a PSA from people possessing vaginas everywhere who go, I'm sorry, please stop price gouging me for a pink tax that you have imposed. Just saying. My car is not pink, why are you making me pay more? This is dumb. This is really dumb. But also, it's partially because the guy's an idiot and didn't realize what the hell he was talking about. The worst part is my mom's the one who got the phone call from the place, and when she answered it, they told her all the stuff that they did without anybody's consent, and her answer was, they said it's $2,000. You good for that? And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? I don't have that at all. What do you mean it's $2,000? Okay, well, figure it out. If we can negotiate something, please, can you work with me here because I'm scared. She was just gonna let me pay it. And completely dick me over, and then Dad went and talked to them to figure out what the hell happened. And they took it down a peg. So yeah, advocate for yourselves and stick up for yourself. And if you don't feel comfortable doing it, I guess get someone else to help you. Find someone you trust who kinda knows what they're doing and ask them what to do. Sleep day. I had a day to sleep. That's all I did. Whoopee. Panic attacks and lashing out. Yeah, that seems to be a thing. I've noticed it's kind of a trait in my mother's side of the family where sometimes when you bottle all your shit up, you just explode. And the worst part about it is when you've been told for so long that you're crazy or insane or whatever you're feeling doesn't fucking matter, so you continue to bottle it up and hold it inside. And then one day, you just let it all go. The problem is that I know where it comes from with me is like, I have a problem with what you're doing, but I don't know how to explain it in a way that doesn't sound like I'm an asshole, you're a piece of shit, or anything constructive. I don't know how to say this, but what you're doing is bothering me, and I don't know how to tell you why, because there has to be a reason why it bothers me. I don't know how to explain it, you're just bothering me. Please stop whatever the fuck you're doing. It's pissing me off. Dad resolved the car issue. Oh yeah, the panic attacks were because of the car. I was stressed out over a lot of things, and then money became a factor, and I was like, well, time to start screaming at people. Because, disappointing doctor's appointment and shitty boyfriend moment. I don't remember what the shitty boyfriend moment was, but I went to the doctor's and she once again told me we might have to consider medication because, your numbers still aren't good enough for me. We have to be real here, like your stuff's probably not good, so we're gonna just assume it. Turns out my A1C was normal. I dropped down to 5.2. In about 1.5 years, I went from an 8-something to 5.2. And then so an old friend comes shopping around my workplace, and I kind of reconnected with him, but it didn't stick around. I'm not great at staying in touch with people. I tend to I make friends, and then for no reason, they just kind of fade into the background and disappear when I don't stay in contact with you long enough. This happened to my guild leader and to this guy at around the same time, in the sense that, my former guild leader understands this feeling, because you see a bunch of unread messages and you're like, oh god, this person hates me, it's been too long, they probably don't even remember what the hell we were doing, or anything, I'm scared, and the worst guilt that comes with a lot of my old friendships from, high school and such, is the fact that I became so driven with B13 and wanted my goals to happen that I just kind of threw them aside on accident. I didn't really talk to anybody. I didn't make an effort. Nothing. Just, I left them alone. And didn't really say anything to anybody ever again. And then just kind of ghosted and avoided people. And then this person walked right back into my life and started talking to me like nothing happened. And I'm like, it's not that I have bad blood with you. I feel really guilty over doing that. Accidentally just cutting everybody off. And I have no right to walk back into their lives. Not even a little bit. And it sounds shitty, but I get along with this person, but not necessarily the greatest at times. It's mostly just the nostalgia factor at this point, I think. I don't know. Sometimes I just don't feel like people are on my side, and that puts me off from talking to you. A lot of our conversations, anytime I would vent about, what's going on in my personal life, with my mom, or my dad, or my extended family, it'd always come back to somehow it's my fault. And I'm like, I can see that, but I also see where this person sucks fundamentally as a human being. And it doesn't help that I'm blaming myself already. So, when people are like, no, you're the shitty person, I'm like, well, you see. And even as I get older, I still just tell myself I'm a shitty person. And remind myself of that. But that doesn't exactly make me the greatest of friends with people who don't exactly agree in that light. Not in a, you can't accept your flaws, so fuck off kind of way. Just when someone's being 400% unreasonable and you tell me, well, they have a point. Yeah, but you don't have to be a dick about it, man. So, I don't know. I find it hard to reconnect with these people who I've known, but don't know anymore. I haven't been there in a while. It's that stranger effect, as I'm going to call it now, because I haven't called it anything before. Where, Yeah, I know you. I was raised by you, or I grew up with you, and then you dipped off the face of the earth for 10 years. Who are you again? So, shortly after that, I think my boyfriend dipped off the face of the earth again. And then, just having a lot of nightmares. That was March, by the way. Just March. Then in April, I just felt exhausted after all of that. And then I wasn't able to work on B13 things, because the boss lady put a stop to us working on some stuff, until somebody signed their dang contract, as far as I remember. And then somebody half understood an assignment, and I'm not sure what happened there. I don't remember. Combative client, combative customers, combative friends. Yeah, everybody was really prickly in April, I will put it that way. People who just like to pick fights with you, start fights, and just start attacking you for no fucking reason. And you feel like you have to stand up for yourself and fight them constantly to be like, no, shut the fuck up about whatever the hell you're screaming at me about. I don't care, shut up. But I end up just fawning usually instead of fighting, because I don't know how else to deal with people. And then reconnecting with another old friend. I think I started talking to somebody again who works at Walmart now. Feeling bullied by my client and hearing that my trans friends are so scared they're gonna flee. Yeah, so the client was having some talks with me. I talk about this more in depth in my Pokemon series for a long time. Just being steamrolled and unheard, basically. And we still have talks about it to this day amongst ourselves. Because we really don't hate this person, but she was not in a good place. None of us are in a good place, and it's really hard to deal with each other on a personal level when your professional level is, I'm going to run you over to make sure that you get everything done my way. And then, because everybody was so scared and tense, she also passed on to me that one of my friends might be just fleeing the country with her, this client, because they were friends too. And that scared the hell out of me, because I'm like, well, good to know that nobody would tell me. Hearing about this from somebody else. That we're all just going to be abandoned one day. Love that. I understand it's what's best for them, these individuals, going somewhere else where you can be yourself and free instead of be hunted and scared. Just be nice if somebody ever talked about it with the rest of us, instead of just hearing it like it's gossip. So that's unfortunately what I'm so used to now, is people telling me other people's plans about me without ever actually talking to me. They talk to everybody else first and then talk to me. Which shows me just how important I am to any of them, when you'd think these are people who care about you. And then I got sick again. One angel got sick again. So we all got sick. Depression, anxiety, and fear all around, feeling disrespected, resolving those feelings, and being left tired. Oh, yeah. So, in terms of my paying professional life, I'll put it that way. The grocery store that I work for opened a new store somewhere nearby, and some of our people left, or were leaving back in April. But in order for some of them to leave, we had to train up not only new people who were going to be immediately shipped over to that store, but new people to replace them. And considering that I am allegedly the mini version of one of the people who was leaving who was important, you'd think they would have talked to me about promotion, literally anything. No, instead they just decided to start from scratch and go around me and didn't even bother to talk to me at all. I told my manager, I'm like, I'm feeling a little disrespected right now. Because you'd think that we would just try to train me up or something. And I've been feeling some kind of way about it still, even to this day, as my mother has told me multiple times, gotten in my head about it, that, you know, not only, I think you could handle full-time, it would be fine, you'd make more money, everything would be great. And I'm like, I don't know, because I got all this other shit that I'm trying to do all at the same time, and I'm already exhausted. But fine. And then them talking about training me into doing some admin work at the store. I'm like, oh yeah, sure, just to help, that's fine, right? And then I suck. They don't really tell you that to your face, they just constantly give you the same notes, and you're like, well, I tried. And just them going around me. She's also told me, she's like, maybe they just gave you that position to give you a raise. You know, to justify giving you a raise. That would be okay, right? And it's like, so you mean it's not, they see I'm doing good work, but they give me all this power, and nobody, like, everybody thinks that because I have a specific title in the company that I'm capable of doing that job, but I'm not. So thanks. And it's like, oh, we want to train you up to do some other stuff, but we're not actually going to tell you. You're going to hear about it from somebody else who's not even related to the problem. And it's like, so you want me to do more stuff, but you're not going to talk to me about it, and so it's probably not going to happen. I'm just feeling very overlooked and unwanted in general at that place, and it just keeps getting worse. Then in May, I was very stressed out. I had a good date with Angel, and then had a bad day after. Then I started pushing myself to work out all the time, like try to get more done and do more physically. And I still want to try to do some of those challenges on my phone again, where like you really just like exercise and exercise, but I was stressed out about my numbers, so I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to exercise and move and do all this crazy shit all the time. That didn't do anything, really. Then I have customers who like to harass me. There's a specific person who comes in, and every time she sees me now, she just bangs on my U-boat, clang, clang, clang. Look who came into work today! And I'm like, yeah. What the fuck? It's only because I've gotten into a talk with her, and she has very different views than I do, and I don't even know how we got there. Just like someone threw their religious and professional bullshit at me of a mindset that is definitely not my generation. Like, she asked me, she's like, they tell me they don't like their job. You know what I tell them? I'm like, go get another job. She's like, no, you tough it out. It's a job. Deal with it. I'm like, no. It's not how I feel at all. Because if you really hate your job that much, then go try to find another one while you have one. If you hate it that much, go somewhere else. If you really can't take it anymore. Because no matter how much you tough it out, sometimes it's just too much for up here. Oh, my characters are on speaking terms again. Oh, so I talk about it like we're in a green room with all my characters from my stories, and I sit them down, and we all sit there and we read. And for a while there, I wasn't able to write at all. Like, they talk to me, and I write their stories. And they weren't able to talk to me at all, because somebody decided to dominate the green room and locked everybody out. That's how I explain that writer's block. So instead of beating my head against a wall and writing about things that this character didn't want to talk about, I just let it go. I just went, screw it. We're just not going to talk about that, and we're going to move on with our lives. She seemed to approve, because she let everybody talk to me again. So I started writing again. Oh, and I dropped my phone in the sink. I was like watching a video or something, and I had my phone on the ledge for the windowsill, and it vibrated or something and just threw itself into the soapy, sudsy water below. Clearly she's fine. Nothing's wrong with her. She's just, she'd been through it. I threw her in a bag of rice for 72 hours and she was perfectly fine. She wasn't in there for very long, but it was still really scary. Concern over my business partners, desire to make art returning, lack of sleep, questioning my affiliations, ending one of them in guilt. So that's the whole big B13 fight, where we had a meeting, and after having so much bullying and shit behind their backs, I finally told the owners of B13 what was going on with the client. I asked them for mediation, because even though all three of us have a problem with her, I decided at least that we needed someone else to look at these issues and help us come to a clear-headed decision. Because we should not be making these decisions personally and professionally on our own. We said we would wait. That night, we messaged everybody, said, hey, the servers are not working. Everything is kind of busted right now. Please be careful and proceed with caution. And the client wouldn't stop bugging everybody about fixing it immediately. And let me tell you, this would not be a problem for any normal company. However, a small business that operates during abnormal hours, but also normal business hours, like, we just had a long meeting. It's been a long day for everybody. It is midnight, and you're demanding that we fix the servers right now because you're terrified everyone's going to lose progress. Or at least that your story is going to lose progress. I blocked her immediately because the boss lady said, she's like, you can block her now. I'm like, okay. So I did. And I haven't looked back since that. But I still feel very guilty about what happened to get us that far. And I've already talked about it in other episodes and things. So after all that, I was having some strange dreams back in June. Then there was another hospital scare. I think she was in pain or something again, and she got scared. Then B13 started falling apart again. And then isolation and more isolation. And then Mary told us she was moving out. And then it felt like Angel was leaving me. And then I I wasn't sleeping, and I was panicking over having high blood sugar. And then we had a meh date. I don't remember it very well, but it says it wasn't very good. So I was questioning if I should stay or go, and then Mary half-assedly moved out of our house. By half-assedly, I mean she moved her stuff and her furniture, but she didn't take everything with her. Like, she left behind a bunch of soap bottles, she left a razor under her bed. Like, she left her dishes and her food. Like, she just abandoned ship except for the necessities, and that made us very upset. Because when we moved out of the apartment, we scrubbed everything, painted stuff, made sure everything was pristine and perfect so that we could get our money back. And our roommate Rob never did that, but he definitely cleaned before he left. Like, he cleaned up his room, which is now Mary's room, before he left. Made sure to vacuum and get all the crevices, like, everything was cleaned. She couldn't even be arsed to not pick up all of her trash. What the fuck? So we weren't very happy with her for how she left. But, you know, she was gone. So what were we gonna do about it? And then I was worried, but I was still writing. There was a lot of depression. The way my sleep felt, I had a lot of neck pains, and I just felt like every time I woke up, it was like I got hit by a truck in a different way. I think after everything with the client and with Mary, between being pissed all the time and just scared, to going from pissed to paranoid to peace, my body is just worn out. And so is my brain. I went to the 4th of July fireworks alone and got eaten to hell by bugs. I remember that was my one takeaway. I got eaten to hell by mosquitoes. I should have brought something. Citronella candle, anything. Costuming for family. I had to pretend to be cis. We had a family thing, so I did my best to impersonate the only child and only grandchild that I am. With my extended family that I don't know very well. Around my mom's birthday, an old friend showed up, and he said some very racist shit. And I told Mom I don't want to be around this person, really. So she gave him my phone number. Without my consent. Like, that's not a big deal, I'll just do that. And I'm like, you can hang out with him, but I love him to death. I don't want to be around somebody who says racist shit about my partner without knowing that I have a partner who is a brown folk. Sorry to disappoint, but like, stop being racist if you want to be in my life, I guess. I'm just not a fan of that. I just can't do it. I will not tolerate that shit. And then distress over Mary coming back. After, like, I don't even think she made it a month quite. She moved in shortly after Mom's birthday. After she left, immediately Mary came back. She didn't stay gone very long. She needed to come back immediately, because it was not a good situation that she moved into. And even though I was telling Mom, I'm like, look at everything that she does. She's incredibly selfish. We feel used as the hosts. This is not a good situation. She doesn't do enough according to you, and she's kind of gross sometimes, which she considers an occupational hazard of living with another human being, that you find their period blood or their bloody tampons everywhere. Hyperbole. We've found bodily waste and things in inappropriate places from time to time. We still don't like it. She calls it an occupational hazard. We call it disgusting. Because, ew. So, I had a breakdown at Mom about her coming back, and then I saw what condition that our old roommate was in, and I caved. And then Mom caved, and we let her move back in. And Mom never had a talk with her, or drew up a roommate agreement, and nobody did anything. It was just as if nothing happened. And back in July is when Gandalf and Ellen discussed that maybe we have to let go of B13 as a company. That maybe we have to just change the company and do some things differently because we cannot afford to keep it going. And there was a lot of guilt and anxiety. In August, I started facing some writer's block and coping with guilt towards Mary and Mom. Because even though I'm speaking the truth, and I'm telling them exactly what's going on, they will never talk to each other about when they have a problem. So I'm the middleman. Always. To fixing their problems. And I've told them I'm staying the fuck out of it. You think you have a problem with somebody? Go talk to them. I'm not doing it. Because now when I tell them what you really think and what's going on, you both just get more and more mad at each other that there's a problem. Or, even better, you act like, oh, it's no big deal. And then you scream at me about what fucking big deal it is. It's some very, very, very two-faced, schmoozy shit. I don't know why they both do it. Nobody will talk genuinely with each other. In a constructive way that will not hurt anybody. And from that began the struggle of mental health. Then there was Mom's stomach bug, migraines and disappointment, and then just being a supportive friend. I think as soon as everybody, everything was settling and then things went to shit again, I was like, I will be a supportive friend to the roommate again because she needs that. Somebody to at least, be like, okay, yeah, I see you destroying your life over there. I see you making bad choices. I can't stop you. I'm not going to approve of it, but I can't stop you, so you do you. You're gonna hurt yourself whether you like it or not, so me ain't doing it. Then in September, we had a doctor's appointment in stress and anxiety, which was immediately relieved. I do remember on the day of my doctor's appointment, I got my flu shot, and that shit fucked me up. And by it fucked me up, I mean, I got my flu shot. I was like, I have to go to the doctor's, get my flu shot. I'm probably not going to have any energy when I get home, even without the flu shot, to do anything cooking-wise, and I want to maximize my time with my boyfriend because it's date night the same day. So, woo. Excuse me. I'm just gonna get some, big dinner things and bake them in the oven and say fuck it. So I did all that, and I had some time with him, And we're laying in bed, and eventually, my body just starts tanking. Like, my head hurts, I'm starting to break out in a sweat, I have a fever, I feel weak, I can't get up, I am dizzy, everything is awful, I'm struggling to drive. I managed to get him home, and I came home, and I had muscle aches and a whole thing, and it was a terrible experience, and I blame the flu shot. Dad came home, and I had passed out, like, curled up in a corner somewhere, like, on the edge of my bed where I don't normally sleep. And I just kind of, like, huddled there and stayed there and cried because I'm like, I think I'm dying. Everything's awful. I'm scared. I have a 102 fever and I don't know what to do. I can't move. And Dad comes in, he's like, you're not dying. We're gonna give you some stuff for the pain. We're gonna give you some stuff for the fever. Take this ibuprofen, and you'll be fine. Just go to bed. We'll see how you feel in the morning. If you're still sick, you're gonna have to miss some work. And I'm like, no, they need me. It's a truck day. I can't. There's nobody else there but me and one other person. He's like, you're gonna have to do it. I did go into work the next day. I was weak as hell. I couldn't lift anything. I couldn't even pull pallets the way that I normally do. And I still haven't, because my body has been messed up ever since, to the point where I cannot get up and function like I used to. Everything is atrophied so much in my body, from like peak physical performance all the way down to you can't lift much. Around Dad's birthday, Mom got COVID though. And she got a stomach bug. Nope. She got COVID, so we were all stuck alone, and I missed my Angel time, which caused some breakdowns. More aches and missing Angel. Breakdown at work. Car issues, cat pee problem, Mom got fish. Oven stopped working, fighting with Angel. Oh yeah, at the end of September, my car was leaking oil everywhere. Like, just pissing like a sieve. Everywhere. And so Mom got it more oil, and then we took it to the car place, and they were like, yep, she sure is pissing oil. That'll be $1,000, and it's like, great. But I didn't have a car, so that was great. And then my cat might have been peeing inappropriately, I think, cat pee problems, and then Mom got fish. Mom got a whole ass fish tank around Dad's birthday, and then installed it in the living room somewhere in late September. Yay. Even better, the oven stopped working. I was in the middle of cooking dinner. It was in the oven, it was going, and I went to check it, and the oven's not on. Not in the sense that, like, the oven was off, it was on. The panel, so our oven has, like, a touch panel to punch in the numbers, and push bake and all that stuff. And instead of lighting up the way that it always does to tell us, like, what the temperature is, it just stopped working. Like, just turned black and didn't turn back on. So, yay. Mom shut it off, so it stopped working after that, but we did not have an oven for, like, at least a month. And then we started fighting. And then October rolls around, it was my birthday. Dad's birthday was pretty good. My birthday was okay. And then I didn't have my car as much because of Mom. She needed my car more. Like, my car fix was very easy. Hers took forever because, when in the process of taking my car up in September, her car just shut off in the middle of driving. Just, like, turned off. She managed to coast into a shoulder and get it to hard restart, but she was like, I should probably take it to the shop too. And then we did it again. It happened again on her way to work. And then it happened again. So she gave up and took it into the shop. And they told her, when was the last time you got an oil change? And she's like, a couple years ago. That doesn't sound that bad, but when you drive 40 minutes every single day to work, one way, that adds up over time. Her car had little shavings in the oil. Fun fact, that means engine damage. They told her, you could probably fib to the company and get a new engine with a warranty, but I would strongly recommend getting that fixed if you want this car. She got a new engine, but that took weeks. So she had to take my car, which meant no Angel dates, nothing. I didn't have any time with him. Because I was missing my Angel time, with more breakdowns. And then Mom fell. One morning she went out to go to work, and she just fell. Just splat. She took out a step on our side porch, which we fixed, kind of. But she fell down the stairs and thought she hurt her tailbone. She's like crying about how she could be bleeding out and bleeding to death and everything would be horrible. But there's nobody at her work, so she needs to go to work. So she drove her unhappy ass to work and stressed about it all day. And then one of her coworkers scared her by saying, oh yeah, no, you're probably not bleeding out, but you could be having a very slow bleed. I had an old person die of that once. He had a very slow bleed that you couldn't see or find outside on the outside, so you could still be dying. And Mom's like, ah! And I'm like, ah! I was gonna walk home, by the way. I was gonna get my steps in for the day. And instead, she drove back from work to come get me, to drive her home, to grab her stuff, to drive her to the hospital again, to get some scans. And I told her, I'm like, I'm not going in with you. She's like, what? Why? You should come in. And I'm like, no, I'm going to sit here and wait for you because I don't want to be stuck there all night. And you can wipe your own butt. You can get up. You're not screaming. You can talk for yourself. You're fine. You don't need me to help you this time. She didn't seem to approve of this, but they gave her some opiates because she can't have normal painkillers like everybody else. So she got the good shit. And then went home. Which caused some more breakdowns and crises. And then my boyfriend's birthday came up, and that was a good day. He also got me a present on that day. On his birthday. And then Mom lost some money, which was a whole panic attack and a half because she lost like $70, which was the roommate's whole rent for a week. Couldn't find it anywhere. Final straw in the repair, by the way, oh fuck, was the shower died. I went to get in the shower. I turned it on, and it just dribbled. Like, instead of psh, it was psh, which was horrible. It was not fun. It was the worst. We ended up taking what I called pot baths, where I just took, like, a soup pot and filled it in the kitchen tap. Correction. I took, like, a soup pot, put it in the bathroom sink, and just dumped that over my head to take a shower. This was still better than losing the water heater, because we didn't have to boil water to go with it. We still had hot water. It's just not ideal at all. You do not feel clean. It is terrible. But it's better than nothing. So we still, did everything as we normally do. And eventually it all got fixed up somewhere in, like, late October, because we just couldn't fucking take it anymore. Like, someone fixed the shower, and we got the oven fixed, and we got a new microwave. Because that was a long time coming. Everything was fixed up. In November, B13 collapsed. We took it from an S corporation down to a sole proprietorship, and I still have to file to be an independent business owner. Just because everything is too expensive for us to keep maintaining it. Like, it's $1,000 every year to do the taxes. And there are no programs to help you. There's nothing. You're just supposed to figure it out. So when you have no money, your business kind of just goes straight in the toilet. And then we have kind of what I call the spider cricket infestation. Fun fact, there are these weird shaped looking crickets that are called spider crickets. They're really nasty looking. The little cat, who is now asleep on my bed over there somewhere, she hunts them and kills them for us. But if you have certain bugs are indicators of water damage in your house, and we already know this house is old as shit. We have ants every year, sign of water damage. Carpenter ants specifically, also on top of the regular kind, sign of water damage. Spider crickets, sign of water damage. It just keeps getting worse. And then in November I wasn't sleeping. I was having bad dreams consistently because my anxiety was out the wazoo. Car problem again. Oh, TPMS. My TPMS sensor is going off on my dash, which is lovely. And then, no Angel, Thanksgiving rush, dehydration and overheating. My grandpa went in the hospital. Oh, and people think they can do whatever they want to you whenever they can. I have customers who touch me, and it's awful. I really want to punch some of them because they touch my butt, they touch inappropriate places, and they make jokes about it, and they think it's fucking hilarious, and I just want to sock every single one of them. Because they suck. My grandpa wound up in the hospital with an infection, and he should be released on New Year's Eve, which is in a few days. So, as of this recording, it'll be already passed. And I don't remember what the car problem was, aside from the TPMS sensor. Angel was sick on and off all of Thanksgiving, and so I couldn't see him at all. In December, Erica reached out to me and Ellen, the client and mentioned before. She wants to apologize, and Ellen and I have thoughts about this. You're not a fan? I'm not saying anything to her, because I don't want to shut her down. Because I know I still have stuff that I need to tell her about what happened. What happened to get us to where we are. And then I will cut her off, because I cannot be that angry person again. Still suffering from some severe writer's block right now. I fucked up a hot minute ago. Without realizing it, somebody had shaved into the shower and left all their hair in the bottom of the drain. I took my shower and the water climbed up to my ankles, but I didn't think much of it, mostly because it was really late. I wanted to go to bed. I had to get up for work in the morning. So I didn't do anything about it. When I woke up, Mom was screaming her head off about how slick the tub was and that she's the only one who can pick the hair out of the drain and that she's so angry and upset about everything that she's calling us lazy assholes and stupid pieces of shit and all the names under the sun. If you don't want to be woke up at stupid ass early, don't do stupid shit to get your stupid ass woke up. And just screamed and screamed and screamed. Because she couldn't get out of the tub and she was already late for work, I chose to go over and help. Which I still mildly regret because she screamed point blank in my face, "How could you do this to me? How could you do this to me? You knew this was here and you let it happen." I still have no excuses because I am a lazy piece of shit. I didn't want to deal with it. It was late, I wanted to go to bed. I didn't think it was that bad. So, I'm a horrible person. And I've just been tired ever since, pretty much. Just generally done. Holidays are getting to me. Yesterday was Christmas, as of this recording, and I was present. I was there. It felt like another day, mostly. Nothing special. Either way. Just like how we feel about Erica and reaching out to us for her AA problems. It felt like another thing on my to-do list, and now that I can check it off, the year is almost over. So, I feel like doing some tarot, though, like last time. I think that was interesting. So, just been picking at this deck from time to time. My heart's still pounding from, like, when talking about the March stuff, and I'm kind of, like, dissociating right now, and I'm also a little stressed out because Mom was just calling me, and now I've got messages from my boyfriend, and it's a whole thing. So, I looked at the bottom of the deck, so we're going to give her one more shuffle just in case. This one feels the most right. Before you guys think I'm card counting, I'm just trying to figure out what feels right inside, because for some reason, like, I don't feel drawn to some of them. Huh. I don't know how to feel about this one. We got the 9 of Swords over here. Got the 7 of Cups over here. We got the Queen of Swords. I'm gonna do a reshuffle and this time actually ask it a question instead of just drawing random shit. See what happens. Alright. Can we give me 3 cards for 2026? God knows it's gotta be better from here. Three cards for 2026. Seven of Cups, 5 of Cups, and 2 of Pentacles. Don't know how to feel about that. The choices we made with that first kiss has filled our nights with infinite possibilities, yet our dreams of returning to the light are but wishful thinking of a fool. You say that we are lost to you. Do you not think that we feel the same loss? For do we not nightly walk abroad with both sorrow and regret coursing through our once beating heart? If this path before you seems unused, that does not mean that you are the first to venture here. Be open to all around you, for when you arrive at your journey's end, the experience shall be more rewarding. I don't know how to feel about this. We shall see.